Okay, so those are the first two problems. First three problems. So if you want to pause the video and then work them out. Now we're going to move on to problem number 2. And so, Ruben, could you please read it?
A quarterback tosses a football to a receiver 40 yards downfield. The height of the football, f of x, and feet can be modeled by f of x equals negative 0.025x squared plus x plus 6, where x is the horizontal distance in yards from the quarterback. It must completely this.
Okay, so for this problem, and then I'm even giving you guys hints. Well, I did last year. Actually, my students did pretty good on this test, better than on the first. So, if we're talking, remember, anytime we're talking about maximum or minimum, you need to find the vertex. But to answer that question, you don't need the vertex as a point. You need either the x or the y value. Which one is it?
Well, it's both. Because that's the maximum height and how far from.
Okay, so the maximum is the y or the x? The y. So, and then where does it occur? That will be the x. Okay, don't forget that, please. And that goes for maximum and for minimum. I will be uploading this, so if you don't have a copy of the test, you could see it from there as well. All right, now what is the formula for the vertex? That is a formula that you really need to know. Okay, I'm not going to give that to you. And that is negative b over 2a. I'm going to ask you that you please write down the numbers. A is negative 0.025. B is 1, and C is 6. Okay, so I want you in your group to solve that problem. So for problem number 2, part A, for the x value of the vertex, we got 20, so that will be answering this part of the question. To answer what is the maximum height, we need to find f of 20. And you need to show me at least substitution. After that, I'm okay with you using the calculator. So then you should get something like 16. Yeah? Is that what you guys got?
Yes.
Okay, now from what height did the quarterback toss the football? If you remember, we did something like that in class, and that will be the height at times 0. In this case, if you substitute x with a 0, you will get 6. You could also get that value because this will be 0, this will be 0, and so the answer is 6. And I believe we're talking about yards. Okay. Now for the last part, if the football is not blocked by a defensive player nor caught by the receiver, how far down the field will it go before it hit the ground? Round to the nearest tenth of a yard. So for this one, you guys will have to use quadratic formula. Another formula you need to memorize. I am not going to give that to you. Okay, so if you guys could please solve that one. Yes.
When I was doing
We had that fire drill. Okay, so number 6, you have a polynomial, you have a graph, and then you have to answer the following question. Find the root of the equation that is an integer, verify by using the remainder theorem to find f of 2. Oh, wow. Okay, so you guys remember how I showed you that you could use your calculator? Okay, first of all, let's review rational zero theorem. So you get the factors of -4 divided by the factors of 6. So this will be plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 4. Everything divided by plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3. So here, like, all your possibilities will be, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 4. Then if you divide them by 2, you're going to get plus minus 1/2. And then 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So we already have it. We don't need to write it again. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. We already have 2. Now let's divide by 3. So it is plus minus 1/3, plus minus 2/3, and plus minus 4/3. Now if you divide by 6, it will be plus minus 1/6, plus minus 2/6, but 2/6 reduces to 1/3. We already have it. And then 4/6 reduces to 2/3. We already have it. So those are our combinations. Now here I'm already giving you one of them, or if I wasn't to give you a graph, then you may use your calculator to find them, at least one of them. Remember, we call them wise or educated guesses. So here is a 2. It's pretty obvious it is a 2. And so you do synthetic division with a 2, use the coefficients, 6, -19, 16, -4. Drop the first number, then this is a 12, -7, -14, 2, 4, 0. So that means that we found a 0, and that is 2. Now, from here, we started with something of degree 3. And actually, this graph is, it looks like it only has one more 0, but if you were to zoom in, you could see that there are actually 2. So if we start with something of degree 3, we get something of degree 2, right? What is the problem? Brisa?
No.
If you don't understand, let me know. Okay. So you continue with something of degree 2. So then at this point you could try to factor it. I can tell you right now you can't. Can you? No. So you have to actually use quadratic. So again, quadratic formula. You need to know it. So A equals 6, B equals 7, -7, and C is equal to 2. I insist that you guys write down A, B, and C, because if you don't, you may overlook that B is actually negative. And so when you substitute, it will be -7. Because quadratic is -b. Yes? Yeah. And then plus minus, b squared, that will be -7 squared, minus 4 times A times C. Everything divided by 2 times 6. And so you should get something like +7 plus minus 49 minus 48. Everything divided by 12. So x is 7 plus minus, what is 49 minus 48? That's 1. Everything divided by 12. So this will be 7 plus minus 1 over 12. Now keep in mind that here you have two answers. 1 will be x is equal to x is equal to 7 plus 1 over 12, and the other one is 7 minus 1 over 12. 7 plus 1 is 8, so 8 twelfths. 7 minus 1 is 6, 6 twelfths. And then, of course, you reduce it. So one of them will be 2/3, thank you, and 1/2.
Actually, I think you can factor it. 2x minus 1 and 3x minus 2.
Okay, well, if you can factor it, factor it. Too simple. So if you can factor, if you are very good at factoring, use factoring. If you know you cannot, then use quadratic. All right. How about number 7? People struggle with number 7. Yeah, 7. I'm going to encourage you guys that you turn in that review because it is worth 5 points, extra credit. 5 points.
The review you gave us?
Yes, the review. That's why I'm not doing that review here. And I'm going to encourage you that you don't just solve the problems, that you actually look at all your notes, because like I said, the problems are not going to be the same problems that I'm solving right now or the same problems of the review. You need to know other things. Yes. The day of the exam. During the exam, not after the exam. I will not accept any reviews after the exam. It has to be when you take your exam, you turn in your review. I mean, I gave you guys like a week ago that thing. So. All right, so list all the zeros. I'm giving you 3 of them. So x is equal to -1, x is equal to +1, x is equal to I. And the last one, complex conjugates always come in. I mean, actually, I gave you the answer. Complex conjugates. Complex zeros always come in pairs, right? And complex conjugates. Okay, now from there, you list the factors. So it's x plus 1, x minus 1, x minus I, and x plus I. And if I will give you a problem like that. It's not an if. I will give you. I am not going to give you one that has like x is equal to 2 plus I and x is equal to 2 minus. I will not do that because that takes kind of long. But you can expect something like this, right? So after that, and you guys see how nicely I was breaking down the problem? You see that? So you multiply the factors. I will suggest that you multiply those 2 and those 2 first. A sub n is still a mystery. So here, difference of squares, x squared minus 1. And here I could use the shortcut, that's x squared plus 1. And then you multiply those. So that will be, I think it's x to the 4th minus 1. Yes. If you're not sure, you could do the long way. And you will see that the 2 in the middle will cancel. I'm just trying to go fast so we can get to another problem, okay? All right. Now, the thing with a sub n is that you have to use the information given to you. And so what you will do is you substitute f of x with 160, and then your x with a 3. So 160, a sub n, 3 to the power 4, I think it's 81.
Yeah, it is.
So a sub n, 81, I'm sorry, no equal, parentheses. What is it, 80? And then from here to solve for a sub n, it will be 160 divided by 80. And so a sub n is 2. And then last one, distribute a sub n. Wow, I was like so nice here. So you distribute the 2 to this one. And then, so that will be f of x is equal to 2x to the 4th minus 2. Yes? Okay. I think you guys are going to do better on this test. I feel more confidence. Okay. What other ones would you guys like me to do? Oh, by the way, A period, I uploaded the video on how to find the horizontal asymptotes. It's only like 5 minutes long. Huh?
You don't have any.
I meant second. No, I say A day.
Okay.
Second. Okay, what else, guys?
Great.
Okay. Okay, so to find the y-intercept, just quickly, you know that to find y-intercept, the x should be 0, right? So if you were to make that a 0, 0, 0, then you know it will be a 2. Okay, so that point will be here. Okay, yeah, I remember. Do you guys see how here there's a 0, right? Oh, I like this problem a lot. But it's touching and turning around. What does that mean? Do you guys even see? And then you guys see I mentioned something about multiplicity, right? So I'm going to take the coefficients and then I'm going to verify with synthetic division if that is in fact a 0. So you use the same number that you see here, that's the same number that goes inside the box, okay? So the coefficients are -3, -4, 1, and 2. Now, be aware of this. I might give you a polynomial that is missing a term. I will, so what would you do if you didn't have an x squared, for example? What would you do?
0.
You have to account for that space with a 0. So then -3, so that's +3, -1, +1, 2, -2, 0. So we're done. But if it's even multiplicity, what does that mean? Turning, so it happens again, right? So you could divide again.
Oh my God, there's so many people here.
-3, +3, 2, -2, 0. So then we start with something of degree 3. This is degree 2. So right here is degree 1. So then here I actually have the factor -3x plus 2. So I can equal that to 0 and then solve for x. So that will be -3x is equal to -2. And then divide by -3, so that will be -2 divided by -3, so that gives me +2/3. And so +2/3, that's like 1.5, so that will be here. And then we're talking about something of, what is the degree of the polynomial?
3. There's gonna be 2 terms. Yeah. And you go up and down.
So yeah, it only crosses. Now I'm not sure if it turns here, it might turn somewhere above that, but I'm not gonna like expect you to tell me exactly where it turns because you need calculus for that. So as long as you just answer the zeros, the y-intercept, that will be okay. Now, if you were to answer something like it touches and it turns around, then that would be totally wrong. So that's why on your review, make sure you guys study the behavior of the graph. Like if it is odd polynomial, even polynomial, like when it opens both up, both down, one up, one down, or the other way. Okay, I think we could squeeze one more. Which one? You guys pick. Yes. Hold on, I can't answer. I can't hear your question. How do I what?
Okay. There's a dual simplicity of 2. And so is there ever going to be like 3 and then you have to divide 3 times? Because I didn't know that like when it was 2 you had to divide twice. Like the synthetic division.
Well, actually, I did cover that in class. We did something like that in class. But to answer your question, like to divide 3 times, that would be very unlikely to happen. Because it will have to be like a polynomial degree 5 or higher. And that will take you guys way too long. So don't worry about that. Just worry about this. If you see that it touches and turns around, it's because even multiplicity. So try to divide twice. Okay, and as long as you get a 0 for the remainder, that means that yes, it is a 0 twice. Okay? All right, so if, well, there's no bus today. Which other one would you guys like me to do?
Can we do number 10?
Okay. Oh. Number 10. I'm going to go over this tomorrow with you guys. But to find the numerator, I'm sorry, not the numerator, the domain, you have to take the x values that will make that equal to 0. So you can factor it. X, and then that cannot be 0. So then it will be positive, negative, 3, and 2. And then you take each factor, and that cannot be 0. So x cannot be negative 2. And then x minus 3 cannot be 0, so x cannot be positive 3. The vertical asymptotes will be the same as the, well, actually, you have to see if you could reduce it. Let me tell you. No, we cannot. So the vertical asymptotes will be the same restrictions as the domain. And then the horizontal asymptote, will that be, that's what I was explaining when the fire alarm went off today. Horizontal asymptotes, if you have bottom heavy, that means the degree of the bottom is higher. By default, the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. That one has the same degree, numerator and denominator, so what you have to do is get the ratio of the leading coefficients. The leading coefficients are 1 and 1, so the horizontal asymptote will be 1 over 1, which is 1. Y-intercept, X-intercept. To be fair, I'm not going to make you guys graph it, like if you're in 8th period. 7. Second or 8th?
8? You don't have an 8.
I mean 7. Second or 7th. I'm tired. Okay. There's nothing here about the, what is the name of that theorem? Intermediate value theorem. Expect to see a question like that. They're so easy to answer. Please study that. Yes. Okay. So any other problem? No? Okay. Okay, so I need my exams back. It's just not fair that I give some to some people and others don't. You can take a picture of it if you want. It's okay.